Narasimha Maharaj ki Jai. We'll hear from Maharaj the ecstatic Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam class as Maharaj wishes.
No, no special verse.
Any.
Anywhere.
No?
Yeah, I'd like to sit here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraya Nastaprayeshu Bhavatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. We're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is first canto, chapter 2, text number 7. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnanayasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayada Haitukam Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnanayasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayada Haitukam Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnanayasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayada Haitukam. Others can chant.
Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Jnanayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam cha yad hetukam Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Jnanati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam cha yad hetukam Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Jnanati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam cha yad hetukam Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah
Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah. Jnanayati Asvairagyam. Jnanam cha yatha hetukam.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah.
Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah.
Jnanayati Asvairagyam.
Jnanayati Asvairagyam.
Jnanam cha yatha hetukam.
Jnanam cha yatha hetukam. Vasudeve Bhagavati. Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah. Jnanayati Asvairagyam. Jnanam cha yatha hetukam.
Vasudeve
Vasudeve
unto Krishna,
unto Krishna.
Bhagavati
Bhagavati
unto the personality of Godhead,
unto the personality of Godhead.
Bhakti Yoga,
Bhakti Yoga,
contact of devotional service,
contact of devotional service.
Prayojita,
Prayojitah,
being applied,
being applied.
Janayati,
Jnanayati,
does produce,
does produce.
Ashu,
Ashu,
very soon,
very soon.
Vairagyam,
Vairagyam,
detachment,
detachment.
Jnanam,
Jnanam,
knowledge,
knowledge.
Cha,
Cha,
and
and
Yat,
Yat,
that which,
that which.
Ahaitukam,
Ahaitukam,
causeless.
causeless.
Translation. By rendering devotional service
By rendering devotional service
unto the personality of Godhead,
unto the personality of Godhead,
Sri Krishna,
Sri Krishna,
one immediately acquires
one immediately acquires
causeless knowledge and detachment
causeless knowledge and detachment
from the world.
from the world.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Those who consider devotional service to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, to be something like material emotional affairs, may argue that in the revealed scriptures, sacrifice, charity, austerity, knowledge, mystic powers, and similar other processes of transcendental realization are recommended. According to them, Bhakti, or the devotional service of the Lord, is meant for those who cannot perform the high-grade activities. Generally, it is said that the Bhakti cult is meant for the Sudras, Vaishyas, and the less intelligent women class. But that is not the fact. The Bhakti cult is the topmost of all transcendental activities, and therefore it is simultaneously sublime and easy. It is sublime for the pure devotees who are serious about getting in contact with the Supreme Lord, and it is easy for the neophytes who are just on the threshold of the house of Bhakti. To achieve the contact of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is a great science, and it is open for all living beings, including the Sudras, Vaishyas, women, and even those lower than the low-born Sudras. So what to speak of the high-grade men like the qualified Brahmanas and the great self-realized kings? The other high-grade activities designated as sacrifices, charity, austerity, etc. are all corollary factors following the pure and scientific Bhakti cult. The principles of knowledge and detachment are two important factors on the path of transcendental realization. The whole spiritual process leads to perfect knowledge of everything material and spiritual. And the results of such perfect knowledge are that one becomes detached from material affection and becomes attached to spiritual activities. Becoming detached from material things does not mean becoming inert altogether, as men with a poor fund of knowledge think. Naiskarmya means not undertaking activities that will produce good or bad effects. Negation does not mean negation of the positive. Negation of the non-essentials does not mean negation of the essential. Similarly, detachment from material forms does not mean nullifying the positive form. The Bhakti cult is meant for realization of the positive form. When the positive form is realized, the negative forms are automatically eliminated. Therefore, with the development of the Bhakti cult, with the application of positive service to the positive form, one naturally becomes detached from inferior things, and he becomes attached to superior things. Similarly, the Bhakti cult, being the supermost occupation of the living being, leads him out of material sense enjoyment. That is the sign of a pure devotee. He is not a fool, nor is he engaged in the inferior energies, nor does he have material values. This is not possible by dry reasoning. It actually happens by the grace of the Almighty. In conclusion, one who is a pure devotee has all other good qualities, namely knowledge, detachment, etc. But one who has only knowledge or detachment is not necessarily well acquainted with the principles of the Bhakti cult. Bhakti is the supermost occupation of the human being. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Statitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupatata Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nikamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sukhi Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. Sutta Goswami is replying to the sages in Naimisharanya forest. Do we need translation here? As
Everybody can understand.
Everyone's okay? Yeah? Good. So Sutta Goswami had come in the assembly of the sages in Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya is a holy place. It's near to Lucknow, not far. You can go there. You can see also Dadichi Muni's ashram there in Naimisharanya. You can see also the center of the universe. The universe is situated like a wheel, and Naimisharanya is like the hub of the universe. And there's a big well there. It's a bottomless well. You can never find out how far the well goes down. And many people go there to perform sacrifices. Even today, it's a place of sacrifice. You know, maybe you have a young child and you do things like annaprashna or head shaving for the child. Often people will go there to Naimisharanya and do the yajna there. So 5,000 years ago, Kali Yuga was beginning. So all the sages came to Naimisharanya to sit and to do sacrifice. And the sacrifice went on for 1,000 years. So it was a great sacrifice, big sacrifice. And Sutta Goswami, he was the son of Romaharshan Sutta. Romaharshan Sutta was the original speaker to the sages of Naimisharanya. But Lord Balaram came there, and Romaharshan had not properly respected Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram decided this person is not really qualified to be speaking on the Bhagavatam. So Lord Balaram took a blade of kusha grass and pierced his heart and killed him. And after Lord Balaram had killed Romaharshan Sutta, all the sages there, they were shocked because they said, we gave him a long duration of life. We had blessed him that he would have a long life, and you've killed him. And Lord Balaram said, well, bring him back to life if you want. But the sages said, no, you are the Supreme Lord, and you have chosen to remove him. He said, all right. But the sages requested that we had given him a benediction of a long life. So what about the benediction we gave him? Because if you just kill him, you know, he didn't have a very long life. So you have to make some arrangement for the benediction. So Lord Balaram said, well, his son is there. So Sutta Goswami was the son of Romaharshan Sutta. So he said, we will give that benediction to his son. So Sutta Goswami got that benediction. And Sutta Goswami, as we heard in the first chapter, he was well educated, well qualified. He'd studied all the scriptures. Of course, Romaharshan Sutta, he was a disciple of Srila Vyasadeva. He was one of the direct disciples of Srila Vyasadeva. So he was a very qualified person. And Sutta Goswami, he was also well educated. And he had also heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadeva Goswami. When Shukadeva Goswami spoke Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit for 7 days, at that time Sutta Goswami was there and he had heard everything. So Sutta Goswami was well qualified. He studied all the scriptures and all the Puranas and he knew the conclusions of everything. And he was also a very good character. He strictly followed all the principles of religion. So he was elected to be the speaker. And he was asked different questions by the sages in Naimisharanya. Actually, in the first chapter, there are 6 questions which are put by the sages to Sutta Goswami. And one question, the first question was answered in the previous verse, which was text number 6, which is well-known verse. Probably you all know that verse, right? Savait pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktira dhoksaje ahaitiki apatiyata aryatma suprati. Right? The supreme occupation for all humanity to attain is loving service to the Lord. And such service should be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So, this previous verse, this answered the first question of the sages. The first question was, what was the essence of all the scriptures? Because there are so many books, there are so many scriptures. Sometimes people want, they're all so many different things. We don't know what we're supposed to do. What's the essence? So the sages wanted Sutta Goswami to tell them what was the essence of all the scriptures. So Sutta Goswami answered that by telling them the supreme occupation is service to the Supreme Lord, Lord Sri Krishna. And that service should be without motivation and it should be continuous. It should not be interrupted. You don't get a day off. You don't get 2 weeks off to go to India. You know, you don't get these kind of breaks in devotional service. It has to be continuous. So then, the result, when you do devotional service continuously, you will completely satisfy the self, the soul. We want to satisfy the self. We have to understand who is the self, of course. That's very important. And Srila Prabhupada taught this point on many occasions, because it's a very difficult point for us all to grasp. But the fact is that we are all spiritual beings and we live in the material body. So we have to understand this basic point about identity, right? We ask, who are you? Right? If I ask this young lady, who are you? What will you say? Huh?
I'm Anita.
You're Anita. Okay. Anything else about yourself? Nothing else. Who gave you that name? Your parents? Yeah, your mother and father? They gave you a name for your body. Right? Now some people can change the names, you know. You know, many people, you get a name when you're young and you grow up, you decide, I don't like that name, I want another name, you change the name. You can have a different, you can change the name, you know. Right? Now you're Anita, but you can grow up, you could go to another country and you could use another name, you know. You could, so names are You know, not very, doesn't really tell us who you are. There's so many Anitas, right? Which Anita are you? You know, there's so many Anitas. There could be many names. So to identify yourself, to know who you are, you have to tell us more than just simply your name. Even in your own class, there could be more than one Anitas, right? Yeah. So names are not really helpful for us to know who is a person. We have to understand more about ourselves than just simply a name. Oh, I'm this name, I'm Anita. We want to understand, who am I, right? I say, where is your hand? Show me your hand, right? Yeah, you've got nice hand. And where are your legs? I can see your legs, right? And then you have hair, right? So you have a head. And so where are you? You say, my hair, my hands, my legs, right? You're saying, my body. Who are you, right? Who owns the body, right? Just like we say, my car, I own the car. My home, I have this, my home. My mobile phone, who owns it? So we say, my body. Who owns the body? Who is the owner of the body? Do you know? No? No. We have to know that this is taught to us in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita. Have you all read the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah? You read? No? You haven't read the Bhagavad Gita? Oh my goodness. Oh. We have to get you in the youth class.
I have read some. I have read some chapters.
You have what?
I have read some chapters.
You've read some chapters? Okay. So, we want you to learn something very important from the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna teaches us first who we are, our identity. It's very important to know who am I. And he teaches us, he says, Dehinosmin yata dehe Lord Krishna is describing how a person lives in the body and the body changes. Now you have the young lady's body and before that you had a baby's body, right? Where's your baby's body? It's gone, right? Now you have the young lady's body and in course of time you grow up and you have the woman's body and then you have an old lady's body in the future after many years, right? You have the old person, the body changes, but you're still the same, right? You're the same person, but the body changes. So, who are we? We are all Atmas, right? We are all souls. We are all souls. Spiritual beings. So it's important for us to understand who am I. This is the beginning of our spiritual knowledge, education. Education is very important. You go to school, right? Yeah, you get education. Why? Because it's important, right? So we need also spiritual education. We need to get education about the soul, right? You go to school, you learn computers, you learn chemistry and physics, you learn so many mathematics, and you learn languages.
But you don't learn spiritual knowledge. They don't teach you vidya.
Vidya, real knowledge, spiritual knowledge.
Spiritual knowledge.
Right? We learn a lot of material knowledge which we call avidya. Right? There's avidya and there's vidya. Avidya is the mundane knowledge, the material knowledge, like what you learn. But vidya is what we learn here, what we learn from Bhagavad Gita. and from our books like Spirit from Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam and Ramayana, we learn Vidya, transcendental knowledge. And transcendental knowledge begins by understanding our identity. Who am I? Just like my teacher, Prabhupada. I met Srila Prabhupada in London in 1971. He came there to London. And people often came to see Prabhupada, and sometimes they would ask him, Swamiji, how old are you? And Prabhupada would say to them, I am the same age as you. And they would be, what? You're an old man, I'm a young man. Prabhupada said, I am the same age as you. He said, because we are all souls. We're all souls. We're living in the body. The body is not really us. The body is the dress. It's like a dress. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, if you read the Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, Lord Krishna says about the dress, he said, Vachamsi janani yatha vihaya navani grinati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya chinnani anya samyati navani dehi. That's the Sanskrit, right? And the meaning is just like you change the dress, we change also the body. You know, maybe when you go to school, you don't go to school like this, right? You have your school uniform probably, and you go in a different dress. But you're the same, but the dress is different. And sometimes you know your clothes get old, you get new clothes, you change the dress. But you are the same way we change the body. The body is just like a dress. But who is the person? The person is living in the body. And that person is the soul. So we want to understand our spiritual nature, that we are all souls. So before we try to understand Krishna, we have to first of all understand who I am and who each of us are. We're all spiritual beings. We're all souls, but we're living in the material body. So when we chant Hare Krishna, we can understand this very quickly. By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we can awaken the knowledge of our spiritual identity as souls. So this is being taught to us. Of course, it's there in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, and now we're going on, we're reading today from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam continues where the Bhagavad Gita stops, right? The Bhagavad Gita stops where Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna to surrender, and Arjuna says, all right, I'll do it. I'm going to do what you want, Krishna, right? Arjuna surrenders himself to Lord Krishna. So now, Srimad Bhagavatam goes on. Once a person is surrendered to Krishna, then what does he do? Where does he go? What's he supposed to do? So we are hearing about all of these sages, many sages, great sages. They've all come. They've all come to Naimisharanya, and Sutta Goswami is there. And they were asking questions to Sutta Goswami. They wanted to know about what is the essence of all the scriptures. And Sutta Goswami told them, the essence of all the scriptures is to do devotion for the Supreme Lord, to engage in Bhakti Yoga. Right? There are many kinds of yoga. We're doing Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. And that is the highest kind of yoga. So, what is the result? We may want to know, if I do this Bhakti Yoga, what will happen? So, the Sutta Goswami is telling what will happen if you do Bhakti Yoga. Just like when you eat, if you're hungry, and when you eat, what will happen? You won't, gradually as you eat, you won't feel hungry anymore, right? Because you're eating the food. So you get, before you eat, oh, I'm weak, I'm hungry, I haven't eaten any breakfast today and I'm hungry and oh, I feel weak. But then when you eat, then you start to feel strength. Oh, I feel good now, I've eaten, I feel strength. You feel happy and healthy and you're ready to work. You feel all these things as you go on eating. And you reach a point where you don't want to eat anymore, right? Oh, no more, I'm full already. Please don't give me any more tea. I'm already satisfied. So, Bhakti Yoga is like that. That in the beginning, we're weak and we're confused, we're wondering what to do. But as we do Bhakti Yoga, then we become more and more stronger and confident, and we develop these two things which are mentioned in the verse today, Gyan and Vairag, knowledge and detachment. These two things come about as we do Bhakti Yoga. What is Bhakti Yoga? Bhakti means devotion, and yoga means to connect, to link, to connect us with Krishna, with the Supreme, or with God, you could say. So, we do Bhakti. How do we do that Bhakti Yoga? We do it particularly by chanting. Chanting is very important. Are you chanting? Yes, good, very good. Yes, we need to chant. And we chant, we have, just like we have beads, have a bag with our beads in, we chant. And sometimes we do kirtan together, all of us together. Kirtan, that's also very powerful. We get a lot of mercy when you do kirtan. So chanting the holy name is one kind of Bhakti Yoga. But there's other kinds of Bhakti Yoga. Just like before you chant, you have to hear. Hearing is also important. We read, like you read the Bhagavad Gita, or you come to the program, you sit in the class and you hear. So we hear things and we learn. Just like you learn today, right? You learn, who are you, right? Who are you? Huh? Spiritual being, yes. Yeah, we would say, you are a soul, right? I am a soul. And our soul, how old is your soul? It's the same age as all of our souls, right? We're all souls, and we're all eternal, spiritual beings. So Prabhupada would say, I am the same age as you. I am a soul, and the soul is eternal. The soul never takes birth, and it never dies, right? And we are all souls, spiritual souls. So that's the first lesson to learn. And then Bhakti Yoga is learning that there's a Supreme Soul. There's a Supreme Lord over everyone. We are tiny souls. Just like we learn from the Bhagavad Gita that we have had many lives. Do you remember your previous life? No, I don't also, right? And Arjuna, he did not remember his previous life also. Lord Krishna said to Arjuna, he said, that's the difference between you and me. Lord Krishna said, I can remember my previous lives. You do not. So Lord Krishna, He is the Supreme Soul, and we are tiny souls. But we have a relationship with Him. And the relationship is, He is the Master and we are the servant. One Master, Ekala Ishvara Krishna. There is one Ishvara, Ekala Ishwar Krishna or Sab Britya. Right? All others are the servants. So we want to understand our relationship with Krishna like this, and we are learning how to engage as the servant. He is the master, we serve him, just like we cook. So we cook for Krishna, and we offer the food to Krishna. Krishna is the master, so we serve him the food, and we offer the food to Krishna, and then we accept the remnants of the food. This is Bhakti Yoga. And we chant also, we chant Hare Krishna mantra, we chant Krishna's name. What is the meaning of the Hare Krishna mantra? One devotee was saying, when he was asked, what is the meaning of Hare Krishna mantra? He said, we're praying to Krishna, please help me. Please help me. Right? We're here in the material world and we're struggling with our mind and senses. We need help. Krishna can help us. So we are praying by chanting his name. We're calling to Krishna. Krishna, please save me. And he's saving us because we're chanting his name. By calling his name, we are protected. Wherever there is chanting of the holy name, then Krishna is present. Lord Krishna said, there's a verse which says, Naham tishtani vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtani narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. Krishna says, I am not in the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha, and I'm not in the hearts of the yogis meditating on me, but I am wherever my devotees are chanting my name. So Krishna appears where we are chanting the holy name. We can have the association of Krishna by chanting his name. So Bhakti Yoga, we chant the names of Krishna, we cook food for Krishna, and we worship Krishna because he's the Supreme. He's the Supreme, and we're the servants. It's our duty to worship him. And how to worship him? Patram pushpam palam toyam Yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti paritam ashnami prayatatmana. We can offer these things to Krishna, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, water. Even here in Abu Dhabi, you can get these things very easily, right? Leaves and flowers. One flower, a little flower, some fruit, water, offer to Krishna. Krishna is not greedy to get our offerings. He has many Lakshmis who are all serving him. And these Lakshmis have better flowers and better fruits, better everything. But Krishna wants something more than just the offerings. What does he want? He wants our bhakti, our devotion, our love, right? It's not just giving an offering, but it's how we give it. We want to give it with love. So that's very important. So we try to cultivate this mood, worship Krishna in this way. And The result is, when you worship Krishna nicely, you get the result. You get knowledge and detachment. Just like when you eat, you don't feel hungry anymore. You get relief from hunger, you get strength, you get nourishment. In the same way, when you do service for Krishna, then you will feel also knowledge. You will get knowledge about Krishna and our relationship with Him. And we will get detachment. We won't be so much worried about all the things in the material world. Do you have a lot of... Do you... I don't know. Did I turn it off? Okay. Hare Krishna. Detachment. We get attached to many things, right? And these attachments, they cause us a lot of problems. Attachment for the material is a bondage. It gives us a lot of trouble. But if we become attached to the spiritual, that will give us the greatest happiness, the greatest pleasure. So there's different things to be attached to. We have to learn how to control what we become attached to. We want to become attached to Krishna, and we should become attached to worshipping Krishna and chanting His name. These things, if we become attached to Krishna, then that will help us to progress in spiritual life. But attachment to the material will keep us in the material world. Right? We have to think about the future. Where are we going from here? There's a book called Alice in Wonderland. Did you ever read that book, Anita? Alice in Wonderland? It's a famous book about a young girl like you, a young lady, and she went into the Wonderland. And she got into the Wonderland, and then she said, where do I go from here? So the people in the Wonderland, they said, where do you want to go? And she said, well, I don't really know. So they said, well, it doesn't matter which way you go, does it? If you don't know where you want to go, it doesn't matter. So we have to be sure, where do we want to go? Now devotees, we should want to go to Krishna. We want to go to Godhead, to Goloka. We want to go back to Godhead, back to the spiritual world. We have to understand there are two worlds. There's the material world and the spiritual world. Material world is a place of birth and death. But in the spiritual world, there's no old age, there's no disease, there's no death, there's eternal life of bliss and knowledge. There's no problem about economies and money and all of these things. In the spiritual world, everyone is happy and joyful because they are liberated souls. They're free from the material bondage. Would you like to get free? Right? Get free from all the attachments. When we get free of attachment, then no more anxiety. We can be happy. And that's the nature of the soul. The nature of the soul is to be joyful. Right? The nature of the body is miserable. So many problems with the body. We get sick, we get diseases, we get aches and pains. Many things, problems come with our material body. We have to be careful. We get attached to the body, taking care of our body. We spend so much time and money for the body, but the body is temporary. So we want to be careful, don't get too attached to the body. At the same time, take care of the body. We have to take care, but we have to remember, I'm not the body, I'm living in the body. What are you? You are soul, right? Spirit soul. So we can understand it. And the nature of the spirit soul is to be the servant of Krishna. And Krishna is in everyone's heart. So we should try to be servant. This is the mood, Bhakti. A devotee sees Krishna in everyone's heart. We don't just see Krishna only in the temple. That's first stage. We see Krishna in the temple. But then we see Krishna not only in the temple, but he is in everyone's heart. He's everywhere. He's in everything. Right? Did you celebrate Nrsimha Chaturdashi? Yes. So did you hear the story about Prahlad? Yes. So Prahlad's father was asking him, where is your God? Where is he? And what did Prahlad say? Huh? He's everywhere. He's in everything, right? And then his father, is he in here? And Prahlad said, yes. And Lord Nrsimhadev came. Lord Nrsimhadev appeared. So the Lord is everywhere, in everything. We don't see him, but we know he's there. So we have to remember these kind of things. We have to train our mind. This is knowledge. Knowledge, Gyan and Vairagya, detachment. We have to let go of the material. How do you let go? Well, yes, hold on to Krishna. If you're holding on to Krishna, then you have to let go of the material. Just if I'm holding on to this, I have to let go to hold on the table, right? You can't hold on to both. So if you're holding on to the material, you won't be able to hold on to Krishna. If you want to hold on to Krishna, you have to let go of the material. There's a story about the monkey. You know, monkeys like apples, you see. So one day monkey came by, and he came by the person's house, and he saw on the table there was a bowl with apples in it. And the monkey saw the apples and he thought, whoa, those look like nice apples. And the monkey saw nobody was there. So monkey went in and got one of the apples and took the apple away with him. He was thinking, oh, I've got a nice apple now. And he went to bite it, and it was plastic. It wasn't a real apple. You know, it looked like an apple, but it was just an imitation apple. But he was so attached, he wouldn't let go. I've got the apple. He couldn't eat it, but he was holding on to it. My apple, my apple. And then he came down the road. Further down the road, there was a tree with so many apples on the tree. But he's holding this apple in his hand. He doesn't want to let go of the plastic apple. So to get the real apple, he has to throw the plastic apple away. But he's so attached to the plastic apple. No, I've got my apple here. He cannot eat the apple. So he cannot get the real apple until he lets go of the plastic apple. So we are like that. We're holding on to the material, trying to enjoy. We don't want to let go of the material. But to get the spiritual, we have to let go. The one man, he had a guru, So he was asking his Guru, how can I get detached? So Guru said, just wait, in the future I will tell you. So after a little while he heard his Guru calling out, help, help, let me go, let me go. He became worried, what's wrong? My Guru, that's my Guru, he's in trouble. I'll go and see what's wrong. And he went there and he saw his Guru's holding on the tree. And his Guru's got his arms around the tree saying, help, let me go, let me go. And the disciple said, Guruji, what's wrong? He said, I want to let go, I want to let go. And the disciple said, but Gurudev, you're holding the tree, you just have to let go. Right? You just let go. You're holding the tree's not holding you. You're shouting, let me go, but you're holding the tree, why don't you just let go? And then the Guru turned to him and said, yes, you want to get free of your attachments, you just have to let go. Right? You just have to let go. So how do we let go? We hold on to Krishna. Right? We start to chant Krishna's name, read the books about Krishna, worship Krishna. In Bengali they say, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo
Krishna, Karo Krishna, Shiksha.
Yes, very good, right, you know that, right. Bolo Krishna, chant the names of Krishna, worship Krishna, and read the books about Krishna. Lord Chaitanya told this to Haridas and Lord Nityananda. Suno suno Nityananda, suno Haridas, prati gari gari gya koro e bhiksha, bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, koro Krishna. Right, this is Chaitanya Bhagavat, right, Bengali poetry. So telling about Lord Chaitanya, telling Lord Nityananda and Haridas, go to every door and tell everyone, worship Krishna, chant the names of Krishna, read the books about Krishna. And in this way, you get free from all your attachments, all your anxiety in the material life. It comes about very easily by chanting Hare Krishna. Just like it says here today, you immediately get knowledge and detachment by doing devotion to Krishna. But the devotion has to be real devotion. It's not just make a show, because devotion can also be influenced by the modes of nature. You can do bhakti in the mode of passion and in the mode of ignorance. Or you may do it in the mode of goodness. But we want even pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti. That's the highest. But even if you have some material desires, it's okay, because gradually we will get purified by doing bhakti. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama tivrena bhakti yogena yachita. Yeah. Even if you have akama, means all, no material desires. No material desires, sarva kama, all material desires are moksha kama, desire for liberation. Still you should worship Bhagwan, you should worship Lord Krishna, you should worship the Supreme, because that will get you the desired result. Even you have material desire, everyone, so there's no one is banned. Everyone can worship Krishna and get benefit, great benefit from it. So this is the power of Bhakti Yoga, that is open to everyone. At any point and any time in your life, young children like Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj, they got great benefit, they worshipped the Lord. And Ajamila, at the end of his life, he also got the benefit of worshipping the Lord. And even some people in the next life, they take up bhakti. They heard about it in this life, they didn't do it, they had to take the next life before they did it. So any point in the life you can become Krishna conscious. So, but devotion, the mood is there in the heart. It's there. It just has to be awakened. Srila Prabhupada gives the example, just like the child. The child can walk. You know, in the beginning they cannot walk and they will fall sometimes and like, but gradually with the mother's help, the child learns to walk. In the same way, everyone has the ability to be a devotee, to cultivate devotion to Krishna. We just have to practice. We have to practice hearing and chanting, controlling the mind. Arjuna said very difficult to control his mind. Mind was restless. But Krishna said, Asamshayam mahabaho manu durnigraham chalam abhyasena chukonteya vairagyena chakriyate. Lord Krishna said, I know it's difficult to control the mind, but it's possible. Constant practice and detachment. Abhyas and vairag. Right? So detachment. Detachment comes. Let go. How do we let? Hold on to Krishna. Attachment for Krishna is spiritual attachment. An attachment for the material. You watch the Bollywood movies, you watch the Tamil movies, you watch the cinema, the different things, you know. You get lost in the material world. And so that attachment for the material, bondage. But the same attachment to Krishna, freedom. Back to Godhead, back to Him. Alright, any questions? Yes, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, here the word hetu comes, right? So that I am not understanding. Like, with regards to Bhakti, I can understand that love should be without any intentional motive,
Yeah.
because it's an exchange, right? Otherwise it's a business transaction. But what about, see here it's saying knowledge. I hate to be knowledge and this thing, right?
Ahaitaki is causeless.
So what is causeless knowledge? Like knowledge I understand, but how the knowledge become causeless? Bhakti can become causeless, understand, but why is the knowledge?
Well, it doesn't say that the knowledge is causeless, but it said, oh yeah, it does. It said one acquires causeless knowledge and detachment. So the knowledge and detachment are causeless, that they come about because of bhakti. Just like the word that ahaitaki was used in the previous verse also, in the previous verse it was also used, it talked about ahaitaki apritihata, that you become completely satisfied. Causeless, unbroken, the causeless, it's described as unmotivated. That you're not doing it just to get something. So the knowledge is unmotivated because it's causeless. We weren't doing the bhakti just to get that knowledge. But Krishna gives that knowledge. He gives that knowledge. We didn't ask for it, but Krishna's giving it.
So causeless bhakti from our side, without any motive, we will do the bhakti. And from God's side, Krishna's side, He will give us the knowledge causelessly, like without any...
Yes, Krishna's giving us the knowledge, right. We're not asking, we're not expecting to get the knowledge, but Krishna's giving it, putting it in our heart, right? And the same way the detachment. We didn't want to get detached, you know, but Krishna somehow forces us to get detached. He takes away all the material from us. He forces us. Yeah?
Maharaj, when many times devotees do not feel enthusiastic in devotion. How do we inject this enthusiasm?
Devotees don't feel enthusiasm to do bhakti. How do we get enthusiasm? We need to get association with people who are enthusiastic. Right? If you have association with people who are enthusiastic, then you can get also enthusiasm. It's contagious. Right? That's the idea. If somebody is enthusiastic, then they can give enthusiasm for everyone else. Just like one person comes in the kirtan, everyone else is standing, and one person comes in, is jumping and dancing, and everyone else starts jumping and dancing. You know, they see him dancing and chanting, and they all start to chant and dance. And they showed a movie they showed a skit on the YouTube. One man, he was in the train compartment, and everyone was sitting in the train, and everyone, you know, miserable, all unhappy, miserable. And the one man came in the train, and he started laughing and laughing. He's laughing, and as he started laughing, everyone else gradually, they all started laughing. And after some time, everybody in the train, they're all laughing. Before, they were all miserable. But the one person, just by his laugh, because he was laughing, they all started to laugh also. So if you're enthusiastic, one person is enthusiastic, then everyone else can become enthused also. So enthusiasm, very important. We should have enthusiasm for devotional service, enthusiastic to chant, enthusiastic to hear, enthusiastic to serve. That is very important. Prabhupada said in every endeavor you have to have enthusiasm and patience and determination, and especially in bhakti. So Rupa Goswami recommends, he said, Utsahan Nishchayad Dhairya, right? Enthusiasm, the first thing, you have to have that enthusiasm. Very important qualification. Prabhupada went to America, devotees, they didn't have any culture, they didn't have any good qualities or anything, but they had enthusiasm. Whatever Prabhupada said, they would do it with great enthusiasm. They didn't worry, they weren't worried, no attachments, you know, they were not thinking, oh, what about my career, oh, what if, nobody's thinking like that, you know. They were just thinking, Prabhupada wants us to do it, we should do it. Prabhupada sent people around the world, they all went with no money, didn't know anybody, but they went there and they made temples and they made so many devotees because he had that enthusiasm.
You met Prabhupada ji, he was your Diksha Guru, so could you bless us by sharing some of the pastimes you had with him?
Well, I'm telling you things which happened, right? I'm telling you about the enthusiasm which we all had for serving Krishna. And that was very important. That Prabhupada wants us to do something, we would do it. Just like Prabhupada wanted, when I first joined the Krishna consciousness movement, we had Back to Godhead magazines. And the idea was, well, if somebody wants to give a donation, it's okay. And if people don't have any money, it's okay. So anybody can take the book if they want the book, you know, like that. And so then after some time there were no books. We'd given all the books away and there was no money. So Prabhupada said, no, he said, you can't give the books away free. He said, everybody has to give some donation for the book. So it'll have to cover the printing cost. So then, okay, we started to get something. And then Prabhupada said, no, we shouldn't just distribute little books, you have to distribute big books. He said, real book distribution means distribute the big book. So we were not just distributing Back to Godhead, but we were distributing Bhagavad Gita and Krishna book and like that. And so This way Prabhupada wanted more and more. And nowadays when they distribute books, they don't distribute one book, they distribute a set of books, you know. You have to get a set of Srimad Bhagavatam or a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And like that, you know, we had that enthusiasm. We would distribute books and Prabhupada would say, very good. He said, now double it. You know, Prabhupada, we would always push us more. He said, you've done this, now do that, do more, just double it. Whatever you've done last year, you have to double it next year. So Prabhupada liked to see us do more for Krishna. Okay? Any other question? Anyone?
Okay. We'll have some one or two announcements and Prabhupada will be ready to see the
Okay.
Prabhupada will be and then
Okay.
we'll just